Hi, and welcome to Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, your go to platform for ambitious women who are ready to take the business world by storm. I'm your host, Angel France, and each week we'll dive into the latest strategies, stories, and success secrets from the most inspiring female entrepreneurs around the world. Today on The Real Female Entrepreneurs, we welcome our next guest, the creator and host of Talk Shit with P podcast. Oh my God, so cute. Born in Tanzania and raised across three continents, not one, three, she turned her mental health struggles into a powerful platform for creatives to share, connect, and heal. Through her bold and authentic voice, she fosters community, uplifts mental wellness, and spreads her signature positive energy and good vibes. So get ready for a raw, inspiring conversation with Paula Sima. Welcome, Paula. Yay!
Oh my God, thank you so much for having me. Like this is literally the highlight of 2025 for me.
Well, it's just going to
Shh.
grow from there. It's just going to grow from there.
Yeah, you're all setting the tone for 2025.
So, I love hearing this from you guys. What inspired you to create your podcast, Talk Shit with P? Come on. What really happened? Something had to happen.
Oh yeah, a broken heart, COVID, drinking too much, smoking too much, and Asian, like what was happening to Asia. So, but real quick, I went to school in Malaysia for my undergrad, so I have friends who I consider family in Asia. Then, with the way COVID was going on, as you heard, I'm from Tanzania, so they weren't taking COVID seriously. And then there was also Black Lives Matter, what was happening here. And then I had just broken up with my guy who I thought, that's my soulmate, that's the one. We're just broken up, and I wasn't dealing with it because I like to keep busy. I was working two jobs, one in retail. We were starting an event company. So I was on the go, go, go. I didn't have to think about this. Then COVID happened, things shut down. And now, as you can see, I'm an overthinker. I'm even wearing a shirt that says overthink. I live in my head. So I started being in my head about everything, which caused me to drink too much. I was drinking to not think, but that wasn't helping. So eventually I decided to write an email to my ex to deal with my shit. And then I went on Twitter when it was still Twitter. We don't mess with it right now, but when it was still Twitter, I went on Twitter and I started talking shit about the email I wrote. Cause again, I was drunk, so I was just like, I'm in the mood of just letting shit out today. And you forget that people are reading these things. And somebody who I didn't even expect to be on Twitter came to me and was like, "You should start a podcast." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "I was reading your tweet. It seems like you have shit you want to share." I was like, "Clearly I do." So the next day, instead of getting to my fridge and grabbing a beer, I actually showered. I don't remember how often I used to shower during COVID, so I actually showered and started Googling about podcasts and coming up with ideas and names. And I mean, in COVID, we all went to, at least most of us went to COVID university because there were all these free courses happening on your social media. If you're an Instagram person, every time I swipe, there was somebody offering a free course. You wanna learn this? So, as I was thinking about podcasting, there were all these, you wanna learn about to be a podcast, how to start a podcast. So I went to, Instagram University and got my podcast started. And that's when I was like, when we were talking about the name, I went to the person who told me to start the podcast. I was like, well, since you gave me this burden, what name should we have? And she was like, talk shit with me, because you're talking your shit and people are coming to talk shit with you. I was like, you know what? Yes. And then it came the idea, okay, now I'm starting this podcast. What do I really want to share? And I was really struggling, again, being in your 30s, having no savings, paycheck to paycheck, especially being an African child. It's frowned upon because in this idea of the norm we have in your 30s. You should have it figured out. You should have some savings. You should have a business or be top of your 5,500 fortune company or something. And everybody cared about titles. If you're not the boss, who are you? You know, so all the thing. And I was like, maybe it's time to have this conversation. So my first episode, I decided to share all my struggles with my breakup, my finances, job, COVID, drinking, smoking, everything. So it came out, and I was very scared about the responses. But people started sharing as well. People were reaching out and telling me what they were struggling with, and they're glad somebody has spoken. And it became like, you know what? I want to create a safe space because clearly we all want to share our shit, but we're just waiting for that one person or that space that feels like it's okay to say you're broke, like it's okay to not be married and have kids at a certain age. It's okay to be fired or lose your job. It's okay to cry about these things and all that. So that's how it became. And since then it has become a safe space. A little too much because sometimes these days it doesn't matter where I am because it feels like I have in my forehead that says safe space. People just see me and we literally start conversations that go so deep in 5 minutes, and next thing you know they're dumping all this stuff, and I'm like, damn, like I love being a safe space, but I kind of hate it now.
They just keep going and going and going, huh? I love that. But I
And
mean,
you're like, because
hey,
you're
they
like, you're like, I just wanted to come out and drink and have a good time, and somebody now is sitting, and next thing you know, you're crying and but I'm happy that they felt safe enough to share, and who knows how long they've been holding it in or trying to find somebody to share it with. But now I'm also such an empathy. So when people share so much, like I take it on, I start feeling, and then I start crying, and then I'm like, there goes the let's drink and turn up night, but it's still nice.
yeah, yeah, being an empath, sometimes drinking helps get rid of some of that. I get it. So, okay. So, obviously during COVID, you were worked at events and you had retail job, you had two jobs. Obviously, you couldn't do those anymore, correct?
Oh no, I was stuck at home, and the thing is, I was working in Home Goods at the time, and I was also working at Chick-fil-A. We had just started a good program with my manager, so they just started the events part of it. I was the head, and I just got promoted, so I was excited the way we are taking this idea because Chick-fil-A didn't have events catering side; they just had,
Right.
so so we were doing that, and then me and my friend, she was starting an event company. We were working to launch the event company during 420 weekend. So we had all these ideas of 420, how to create it. So I was literally busy, and it felt like, oh my God, I'm finally making it because these jobs were bringing in good money because the hours were very amazing at that time. And to me, I was just busy about stacking up and doing all these crazy things because again, we were just starting an event company, so you have to put in a lot of money, and good thing the money was coming. And then when shit went down, it was like, okay, now yes, even though I had saved a little, but they had plans for an event. We're spending all this money for an event. We're not sure if it will even be able to happen because you don't want to cancel things because in the beginning of COVID, they just said only 2 weeks, right? We were only going to be shut down for 2 weeks. Nobody really knew how long it would take. And then we were like, maybe we shouldn't cancel. But the longer we delayed canceling things for the event, the more money was being spent. So it was
Right.
just a hard time. And eventually we had to cancel. So when going back, the Chick-fil-A job was not available anymore. I went back to retail, but it was like, now you're starting all over because you have spent so much. There was nothing at all, and you gotta bring it up. So it was like, oh my God.
So besides podcasting, are you working another full-time job right now or creating another business?
Right now, I'm both. So I have my baby, which I'm creating called Rap Shit with P. Clearly, I have something with the word shit. I don't know, but so Rap Shit with P is a branding and merchandise company. Like I love branding. I'm big on merchandise. Like people will tell you, I have sneakers with my face. I have earrings with my logo. Like I go crazy with branding and merchandising, and also I'm a very good gifter. It's because I really do pay attention. So it's not about the expensive gift, it's about the thoughtful gift. That's where people get it wrong. And most of the time, the gifts I give people, my friends, they always come and be like, how did you know I needed this? Because I pay attention. I pay attention to my friends. I'm very attention to detail. I think it comes with studying in events and doing hospitality. Everything is particular. So I might even be looking at you and you think I'm not listening, but I'm listening, and then I'll come back even a year later and remember or give you something like that, and you'll be like, can't believe you remember, do you even, because I am that person. So, and I have a lot of people who always come to me with, I'm going to this event, what do you think I should give somebody, or there my friend is having a birthday. So I was like, I should get paid for this shit, I'm doing it for free. So so rapture with people, all those people who find it hard to find gifts or to give gifts, or you want to create gifts for special occasions, your company, employee week, thank your customers, wherever, we got you covered. I'm working on that, or your branding as well. I'm also working on a book, and I freelance on events. I figured um, I've been hired on and off, but it always comes to an end. And sometimes you have to realize that when you're working for somebody, you're never fully secured, because any day that job can go away. And most of the people who are working were small business owners. So you understand when times get tough, when the hours are not available. But then it becomes on me like, oh damn, I get it. It's difficult times, but now I'm stuck because my hours are not getting. So I've decided to lean on the freelancer way. So I do a lot of events, I do a lot of emceeing and hosting, and anything on the creative side, anything. And I like that freedom, because I get to say I want to do that or I don't want to do that. I'm not forced to doing anything I don't want to do, and it's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's the key about being an entrepreneur. So how do you balance it all? How do you actually balance it all, or do you? Because I know I have a balance
There's
trouble.
the I don't understand the meaning of balance. I try to. And it's funny because we do talk about it, but there's never really balance. There's never. If there's anybody who figured out how to balance, please come tell me. But I've also realized that the best way that I can do for myself, because everybody has different ways, right? And balance can seem different to everybody. So my version of balance is allowing myself to know that some days it will be full 100 and some days it will be 20. So what I've done, it's like how people hate Mondays and they have this Sunday scares. So for me, Thursdays is always my favorite day of the week. So I take Thursday as Friday for me. Like my weekend starts on Thursday. And I work on weekends because I enjoy working on weekends and being creative on weekends, because everybody is so busy enjoying time or being with their families that they don't have time to disturb you. Compared to on weekdays, it is all they have is time to disturb you, send you emails, to bother you. But on weekends, they're busy with their family. They're gonna circle back to you on the weekday. And then I don't work on Mondays. I will do the little I can on Mondays. On Mondays is like my Sunday for me. So it's like, and what I've decided to learn is I will keep. I'm a list person, to do list and everything. If I don't write it down, if it's not in my calendar, I'm sorry, it's not there. So I have to write it down, and I have to write it, like I will write it on my phone on notes just not to forget it, but it has to go on pen and paper. Like I have to visually see it, and I will write down my to-do list of all the entire week. Sometimes I'll even do for the month, and then
Yeah.
I'll start like, what is the most important one that needs to be done. So if one day I just do the one which has is the necessary one that has to be done before, I'm happy with that. And then so that's why I'm saying, like, my balance is coming to just listen to my I know this is something people say don't do, because if you listen to your mood, you're never gonna do shit, which is very true. Because my mood is always gonna be wanting to chill at a beach somewhere with a mimosa or a beer, something, But I've learned to listen to my body more, and the more I'm getting more into taking care of my health, because
Okay.
I'm a person who goes, and then when my body shuts down, it shuts down at the wrong time, and that always ends up messing me. So I listen to my body. I allow myself to be lazy. I think we have this idea of, if we stay 2 3 hours without doing nothing, we beat ourselves like, oh my god, I have all these things I need to do, and I just stayed 3 hours doing nothing. It's okay, because when you allow yourself to be lazy, you're giving yourself more energy to do the things you actually want to do. I've realized it's okay to be lazy. It's okay to breathe. It's okay to go outside and smell the roses, like not on your errands. Like just take a walk around outside, breathe the air, smell. All those things help keep me going and staying busy. And then I'll come one whole week, I'll just be go, 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 and then one day just crash. So I've not figured out balance yet. I just find ways to help me have downtime, and also making sure that I am doing what I want to do. And I think that's what happened. That's the bad thing about being an entrepreneur, right? The good thing is you have all the freedom, but the bad thing is, if you don't work, you're not making money. And like where you have to go to a 9 to 5 or whatever. Like,
Yep.
so it's also that we have this pressure in our head that we have to constantly being hustling. But you shouldn't constantly being hustling. I tell people this, I don't want this hustle game. And that's why I also realize being busy doesn't mean you're being productive. So as long as I'm being productive, I don't have to be busy. I don't have to have woken up at 8 and done things until time to go to bed. But then when you look at what have I really done, nothing. But you just felt busy. And I'm also a person who during the day I hate working. I like working at night. I will literally, I'm a night owl person, so I will be up from midnight to 6 7 8 in the morning. Why again? Because those hours people are sleeping, nobody bothers you, you can literally concentrate on shit you want to do. That way in the morning, if I go back to bed and I wake up at 10 or start it late at 11, I don't feel so bad, because I was up at night while you were sleeping. I was doing things without the noises of people or the social media. Because sometimes I go on social media, I want to work, and then you see, oh, she's on live, let me go on a live and support. Or then you get
Mhm.
distracted by this. So the next thing you know, you've spent 3 hours on social media, but
Yeah.
not what you went to do.
That's the distraction. I try to stay away from that. So what advice would you have for somebody who's going, "Oh my god, I wanna start my own podcast. I've been in business for a while. I wanna start my own podcast." But what advice would you give to them?
I tell anybody, like, you should start a podcast if you want, but it's not something for you if you're thinking of starting one to get rich, then don't start one. But so I think you should really know what's your why before you start a podcast. It's a lot of work. Don't let the prettiness of when you see the video. When I started a podcast, I really thought it was just I'll be just talking on the mic and that's it. But you have to be a marketer, unless you have funds to pay people to do that. But most of us in the podcasting game, because you have to be very strategic with where your funds are going, you can't afford to hire everybody. So you have to be your own social media marketer. You have to be your own editor, your own producer, your own all these things. They take a lot of time, a lot of energy. The support is gonna come at the places you least expect, and the ones that you think it's gonna come, it's not, which is gonna drain you even more, because we get angry when our friends and family don't understand how to support our podcast or anything. So I think the most important is to know your why and your purpose. And once you know your why or your purpose of doing it, everything becomes easy. And if you can outsource, please do. It will save you time, and you will enjoy podcasting, because and this is just not only on podcasting, in anything you're doing in your life for entrepreneurs. If you can outsource the things you don't like, your journey will be easier and faster. So try to figure out how to make money to outsource the things you don't like, and you will
Mm.
enjoy it.
Yeah, I love the outsourcing tip. That is key, and knowing that why. So, knowing what you've known now since you've started podcasting and started your business, what would you go back and tell that 18-year road self?
Oh my God. I think the first thing is believe in yourself and bet on yourself. I feel like some of us, especially me, the young, the people in my age, I think what we love about this younger generation is they're really going for their what they want. Like the TikTokers, the streamers, gamers, and they're really out there doing it. And most of us did want to do that, but we doubted ourselves, and we listened to our friends who were like, yeah, but why you gonna do that? Like, you should be a doctor, you should be this. I feel like when you shut down the noise from the people, because they're not even gonna be the one who are buying your shit or hiring you. Let's be honest. So I feel like just turn the noise of the strangers, even if it's the people you love, and just go for it. Bet on yourself. Because one thing I've learned is nobody's gonna bet on you if you don't bet on yourself. And we all start at a place where we don't know. That's the whole process of the journey. You learn and you grow and you know as you go. I think most of us are also scared of failure, and that's why sometimes it holds us back. But one thing I've learned is, are you really failing if you're learning things? Because everything that is known as a failure, it taught you something. Either something you want, if there's something you want or you don't want, or how to pivot or rebrand, or it makes you realize, like, I really want this, so now I'm going to go study it more or pay somebody to do it different. So it's never failure. And even if it is, it's okay to fail. We all fail every day. Like, we are constantly failing. That's part of growing and learning. So yeah, bet on yourself and just go for it.
Yep. Yeah, failure is inevitable. That's the way we grow. That's the way we learn. Hello. So, I mean, if you just
Exactly.
rode your bike once and you fell once and you never get back up, guess what? That's failure. Not getting back up. But getting back up is not failure. It's learning how to make it better. So with that,
Exactly.
what is one key strategy that has helped you advance your podcast?
Oh my God, I'll have to say community. People and underestimate the power of community and belonging in the right communities. But with that also comes authenticity, right? I feel like some people are in communities, but they're not growing, or their businesses are not growing, is because you're not being your authentic self. So every community that I've showed up on since starting Talk Shit with P, I've showed up as fully me. I'm loud, I cuss, I'm always with a Budweiser, but they see past that, because at the end of the day, again, I've said, I'm an empathy, I'm a safe space. I talk, I listen, I pay attention, I check up, I'm intentional with the connections I make. And most of those connections have become more than just business. It has become family. I've gone through so much, my fire, having no job, and these people have showed out for me in ways that even those friends and family who have been in my life for longer haven't. So being in the right community does help grow not only your business or your journey, but you as a person. You grow, and by by being your authentic self, I feel like show up as you, and you see people showing up for you. And I that's the only way to grow in your industry, or even
That's
in life, or even in life. I'm not gonna lie, because
just be who you
ima-
are.
because imagine when you're with a toxic family member and you're constantly showing up, you're gonna be in the toxic as well, and you're not gonna grow because you're constantly surrounding yourself with that. So if I surround myself with people who are in the podcasting industry, and this is also no offense to my friends, I had to start making the hard decisions of picking. because some Saturdays there'll be a podcaster meetup happening at the same time that my friends want to do a pool party. I'm not going to go to my friend's pool party, even though I want to. But that's a decision I have to make because they're not supporting. They don't know what's going on in the podcasting community. They're not going to tell me what tools right now I need to do, why I should start a newsletter or anything. But if I go this way, I'm learning. I'm meeting people probably I never would have because maybe they're just in town for that one day. Or maybe they don't even come to meetups and that day they decided. I might meet the person who has a connection to a person I'm trying to work with or interview. So when you change your mindset and realize that you're going to have to miss certain things to show up for certain things, and that's if you want to grow in your career and get that. But if you don't, again, it all depends with your why and purpose, to be honest. And I'm
That's
sorry to my
true.
friends because I do miss a lot of their stuff for my podcasting communities.
Yep. And I mean, it's just decisions we have to make being the entrepreneurs that you are. So, what about any future plans that you have? What are some goals you may have? What's coming up that we need to keep an eye out on for you?
Oh my God. So fingers crossed. Again, everything requires money, and sadly, you know, money is not as easy available these days than back in the days. Even the sugar daddies are not sugaring anymore, no offense, but, but not that I've had any, but a guy could try. So I'm just saying. But I'm working on a project called Shattered Mirrors. Believe it or not, it's a personal project.
Oh, wow.
I haven't shown this around a lot, so this is a special viewing. You're the second person I've shown it on their podcast.
I'm
But
so honored.
I know, right? Yeah, I was having a hard time last year. Last year I went to a lot of conferences. I think my body was overwhelmed. Emotionally, I was overwhelmed. Again, as empathies, we take too much and we forget to feel ourselves as well. So I think it just all came crashing down to me, and it was around something about the holidays as well coming. So I was feeling a little down, and then I started working on this because a friend of mine was like, when I was going through it, I was recording certain things that way when I can always come back to them and they can inspire me. I was like, you know what? So I started working on peeling the things that were bothering me, and I turn them into a book slash journal so people get to work with me and we have this conversation, and then there'll be a barcode for episodes. So it's a book and a journal with episodes, and you can't find the episodes. This is going to be a private podcast. Unless you buy the book, you get access to the episodes.
Oh, that's creative. That's extremely creative and fun. That's good. I
I
like
know,
that.
right? And I feel like we all have, and shattered mirrors. It's like just because you have the shattered pieces doesn't mean you're whole. There's always we can always bring back ourselves through these shattered mirrors. So I'm picking each piece and I'm talking about it. I'm personally sharing my experience, and I'm kind of asking you questions to be part of it. And there are activities, there's giveaways, there's different ways I've made it fun so that it doesn't seem like a homework, but more like a fun project you're doing. And so I'm hoping it comes out in May because again, Mental Health Awareness Month, and this it's a journal as well. So there's that, and then Talk Shit with P is turning 5 in April. Again, I'm talking about doing some Talk Shit with P boxes. We're trying to figure out how to do that so that way it can be also part of the Rap Shit with P introductory to the world. So yeah, and I recently did my first stand-up comedy, and I hear I'm very funny. So we are trying to work on our comedy section. Who knows? We might be giving up podcasting and get into the comedy. So I might be coming in a city near you to share my laughters. I mean, she can't stop laughing, so clearly I'm funny. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, I can actually I can see that the podcasting goes with comedy, so I can actually see that. That would be hilarious, and plus you're empathetic. I can see you, flowing off with the audience, so that would be good.
and I laugh at myself. So I feel like that's also another way. Like, I laugh at myself. People will laugh with me, and then we'll all laugh together. And that's the thing they say about podcasting. It might not bring you money, but it'll open all different doors for you. I never thought I'd ever see myself as a speaker, and I've been in panels. I'm actually going to be speaking on this weekend at the retreat as well. I get invited, but literally, he's just lucky I've agreed to be part of this panel because I read and I appreciated what they were doing. But January, when I was at Podfest, I told everybody this is my final time being on the stage speaking because I don't feel like I make a good speaker. Like, I don't know. Speaking is not for me unless I'm part of a panel, but doing a one-on-one speaking, trying to motivate and inspire people. I did my speaking and people came up to me and they were like, oh my God, we relate with when you share this and you say this. I could really sit and I was like, I say that? Like, I couldn't even believe this. and,
No,
and
I
I
mean,
think,
it's the same. Hey, speaking is like being a comedian. You got this.
but I think because I've had this brand talk shit with P on me for 5 years, so I half of the time believe I just talk shit. But when people kind of come to me and say, you actually made sense to me, you did this, I'm like, oh my God, cool.
I love that. I love that. All right. If you had a superpower for just one day, 24 hours, what would it be?
Oh my God. I think I'd say the power of clarity. Sometimes we have too much noise in ourselves and we doubt ourselves, even though we could do something. And I think that's why sometimes we delay doing things because of all this noise. So, as much as I'd love to travel anywhere forever, I think clarity. Let me just see. Like, is this shit gonna work for me? Or no, am I wasting my time? Or am I just doubting myself for a reason? Like, I want the power of clarity, you know? It will solve my day to day.
It would. All right. What's one fun fact about you that not a lot of people know about?
So I am lucky, obsessed with t-shirts. Growing up, I used to be a tomboy. Like, if you walk into my closet, I have an entire row of t-shirts, and then when you look at the top side, I have like this section of tops. I wear too many t-shirts. I collect a lot of t-shirts when I go to conferences. Every sponsor booth I go and I take the t-shirt and I just live. Even when I buy clothes, like literally, I look more into t-shirts than shirts. So that's the fun part. Like, I'm obsessed with t-shirts. Somebody help me, please. There are too many t-shirts. You know how when men and women end up moving together and then the girl is going through the guy's closet and be like, you have double of these shirts, you gotta get rid of this shirt. Somebody needs to come and do that for my t-shirts because I have had t-shirts since when I used to live in UK that I still don't want to get rid of. I just keep piling more t-shirts. So help.
Well, okay. So I am a repurposed girl when it comes to those things. I am not a t-shirt girl by no means, just so you know. But if I wear one, the neck is being cut out. I'll usually put a boa around it. The sides are slit. And I usually tie all the sides so it shows my waist because otherwise it just looks like a big box on me. You know what I
But
mean?
but that's how I like. Which I also love that you're very creative. You need to be very creative to do that. And sometimes I see them and I'm like, damn, I wish I could do that because this t-shirt would look very nice to turn into that. But the thing is, I really love t-shirts, and some people, when I see their material is very good, I order the small one so I can wear it with like uh, trousers and shit. And then I'll order a medium or large because it will look like a shirt dress, and all I wear inside is little shorts because I really hate wearing clothes as well. So it's like I kind of instead of, and I hate dresses, but I rather wear a t-shirt as a dress, like a shirt dress.
Especially if they're soft. Oh my word. If they're soft, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh
That is
yeah.
cute.
Oh
What about a
yeah.
favorite book? Do you have a favorite book?
Yes. So my favorite book is it's called The Name of God is Mercy by Pope Francis. So I grew up my grandmother was Catholic, but I was never Catholic, and I'm not very religious. I do pray, I believe in God. I have my own ways, but I'm not really that religious. But somebody had given me this book. I think it was my grandmother or somebody. And then I was like, let me read it because it was really a small book. It's not those big books. And in my head, I thought I'm reading a Catholic thing, but it was really about grace, compassion, and forgiveness, and love and growth. So it was really a book that resonated with me in the time I was also given. So it has always stayed. I feel like it's a book everybody should read.
All right. What about a song or songs? Do you have some songs you like?
Well, any song by Lil Wayne and Nico Moon get me in whatever mood. It depends. Lil Wayne, if I'm really trying to, because I no longer club or anything, but every now and then, I'll be like in the mood to do it, but I'll have to get myself pumped up. So Lil Wayne songs get me pumped up, and then Nico Moon songs just make me feel like I'm floating in a beach somewhere and just enjoying beer. But a pick me up song is Better Days by Ryan Ellis. And anytime I'm feeling sad, I listen to that because it's not a praise and worship song, but it also feels like it, and it gives you hope when you're feeling less. So yeah.
That is funny. Your favorite quote?
So I will say self-care is how you take your power back. And there's so much people throw self-care around so much, and what is self-care and what should be considered self-care. And most people always kind of venture self-care with treating yourself to all this luxury, but self-care doesn't need to be luxury. Having a bath, if you shower every day and one day you create a bath for yourself and just relax, that's self-care. If you take yourself out to a walk, that's self-care. If you're constantly busy and get to sneak in 1 hour to just enjoy silence, that is self-care. So self-care is anything that just makes you feel a little bit better in this chaotic world, because we live in a chaotic world and there's always something, and our minds are constantly moving, our brains are drained, our bodies are drained. So you need to find something. If it's having a cup of coffee, or like Paula drinking that Budweiser, whatever that makes you, and it's really taking your power back. Because again, we have been taught to live in this hustle mode life where we feel like everything should be in the go-go or anything. But no, take your power back, relax, girl, have that drink, cup of coffee, go for that walk.
I'm a coffee freak. I live on coffee, unfortunately. But how do you stay motivated on a daily basis?
Oh my God. So believe it or not, before the very serious stuff, it's trash TV. I know probably people are expecting some, but it's trash TV, and I say this, it really does help me with my, not only my creativity, but my goals, my dreams. It reminds me of my purpose. I mean, if I watch Selling Sunset, yes, the drama is very amazing, but when you see those houses and the cars, and you're like, man, I might not want that big of a house, but it should be nice to be in a place where if I want to buy it, I can. So that makes me motivated to work hard. Or it gives me topics of conversations to discuss on these housewives. They be having very interesting conversations for old grown women for doing all these things. So it brings me back to conversations that I can bring on my podcast, or discussions I can have with my friends. So it gets me into that work mode right back. So I think those things, but also reminding myself of, again, as I said, your purpose, your why. Because doing this and being on an entrepreneur journey, like you can wake up one day and be like, you know what, let me just go get a 9 to 5. At least I know a paycheck. I'm getting a paycheck, especially when it comes towards the end of the month and you're trying to calculate the bills and your rent and everything. So I try to remind myself that why I am doing this and for what reasons I'm doing that. And that really be like, okay, you know what? You can have your 2 more hours of laziness, but you gotta wake up and get to grinding if that's what you want.
That's true. All right. How can our audience stay connected with you?
So you can find me on any and every social media talk shit with P. I hardly go on Twitter anymore, so you might wait a long time if you reach out to me on there. I also suck at emails, but I am very good at Instagram DMs. Like if you send me an Instagram DM, I will respond. I like to connect with anybody and everybody because, again, I love networking, and you never know where these relationships might take you. And I'm all about community. So I'm a person who, if I can do anything to help you, I will. So I might not be able to help you, but I can know somebody who will, and I don't mind connecting you with. So find me anywhere and everywhere at Talk Show with you.
I love your honesty. All right. What else is there that you'd like to discuss with our community and our audience that are listening right now?
Um, I'll just love to remind the audience that one thing people don't talk about the entrepreneur journey is it is a really unique journey, and it's different from everybody's journey. And some of you, yes, you might have partners or supportive family, but it's really a walk alone journey, if you get what I mean, because it's your decisions. You're the one who has to come up with the money and the ideas and everything. So it's really important to surround yourself with people who keep you grounded, motivate you, inspire you. And that's why I talk about being your authentic self and belonging into communities and showing up for those people who you would want them to show up for you. Because I've had this conversation where some people are like, but I've been in this community and they haven't done for me anything. And I'll ask them, have you attended any of the events? Have you reached out to any of the people in those community and tried to make relationships? What have you done? It's like nothing. I'm just there, and I comment. I'm like, you can't do that and expect. If you have never shown up to any of my event, whether it's virtually or in person, if you've never reposted any, if you've never reached out to me and have had a conversation with me, why would I show up? Even if we're in the same community, I'm sorry. Why would I show up for you? Like, let's be real. So do what you would like for you to be done to you. A lot of people show up for me because I show up to a lot, and I get it. Everything these days, there's so many people who are writing books, me included, and I'd love it if you buy it when it comes out. But that's a lot of money as well for all these books you want to buy for. So if you can't at that time, if you can't buy the ticket, if you can't buy the book, you can always repost, share it with your community. Say that doesn't cost anything. There's all these ways of supporting for free. Do that and see how it comes. And don't do that expecting it back to you. Do it gracefully and because you want to. Also, make sure that it's something that also is in your brand. Is it the right word? Because
Yeah.
I've missed opportunity, I've declined opportunities, or I haven't reposted certain things because they don't match my brand, they don't match my purpose, and that's okay. But if you know that even though it doesn't work with your brand, because you gotta protect your brand, you gotta protect yourself, but you know people who they might enjoy it, you can send it to them privately. You don't have to share it on your social media. So that's all I'm gonna say. I talk too much.
All right, Paula. It was fabulous having you on. Oh my God. So many nuggets, so much information. They're going to fall in love with it. You are amazing. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun. I don't want this to end. Can we continue talking?
We'll talk soon. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. I hope you found inspiration, actionable tips, and a sense of connection with our incredible community of driven women. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share the episode with fellow entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their game. Remember, your success is just the beginning, and we're here to support you in every step of the way. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, you have the power to create the business and life of your dreams. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.